Alright, I can hear a little bit of talking, but hopefully it won't get too loud. There's library haul and reading recommendations. And what's kind of funny is that I think only 2 more videos until Christmas haul, which is so weird to think about. And I'm still kind of haven't done Christmas shopping yet, so it's even worse. But I still cannot believe that Christmas is Saturday. For whatever reason, I kept thinking Friday. I don't know why. Oh yeah, so the first one up is Blue Exorcist, Volume 5. I always want to do it this way. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. When I was done reading a manga and I read like a best, normal comic book, I was reading it the manga way. It's kind of funny. There's almost a huge noise. I just completely dropped it. The final volume of the Archie series, which I'm really liking. Yeah, I think it is the final one. Wow, this one's pretty thick. Wonder if it would still know it's $19.99. They would not charge the same price for that one. Black Manta Rising, Aquaman Volume 2. Now, usually I finish the previous volume before I get the next volume, but this time I didn't. I was gonna finish Aquaman Volume 1, but never got to it. I kept like falling asleep, not falling asleep, but like I'd finish the last book before it, and I would just be way too tired to even read anything after that. Prophet Volume 2. The Sixth Gun Volume 2. Sorry, I had to do this one right away. I just want to make sure this is the right one. It looks different. Much thinner. Thor by JMS Volume 3. I just finished the last issue of Volume 2. And finally, one that I have read before. I just want to read again to give it, especially to give it a second chance, and that is The Filth. And now this one does actually let you take the dust jacket off, which is nice because the dust jacket. I can't say dust jacket. The dust jacket's gonna look terrible if you don't. Of course, if it's taped, it'll be fine. But yeah, other than that, always take off the dust jacket when you're reading a hardcover. Now I'll do the reading recommendations. I don't even have to write them down on my phone this time, because I didn't drop them off. I just had someone pick them up. Because I'll be going, hopefully, I'll be going on Thursday, because there's more books to get on Thursday. Not all the books came in today, just as I thought, but more came in than I thought would. I mean, I knew that the 10 books that I put in would not come in. In the 11 books I had, no way, because one of them took a long time to come in. But I was not expecting to be 6 books. It was 6, right? Yeah, 6 and 7, including Blue Exorcist. So, Blue Exorcist Volume 3. I really enjoyed the series. I have Volume 4, that's why I got Volume 5. So you won't be getting a review for Volume 4. I'm really enjoying the series. It's different. It gives me everything I kind of want in it. I feel like I want in it. It's a little wordy at times. Like, I feel like sometimes the dialogue gets too much, but it's very fast paced nonetheless. It's the second most fast paced manga I've read thus far, which is not saying a whole lot. Wind, a very big, this is why I read books a second time and give books a second chance, because this one was way better, way better than I remember it being the first time. It was not nearly as lame. I think it was because the first time I was expecting to be at least young adult, and it was borderline for kids. This is very kid friendly. Like, there's a few swears and there's some minor violence, but nothing too terrible. I think it would get a PG rating. That's what I want to say, at least. It'd be a hard PG, but especially as the PG movies we get nowadays are basically G-rated movies, but it would be PG. Definitely if it was made back in the day, like even 10 years ago. But it still has a very slow start, and the first two or so chapters, including the prologue, which I don't know why I include the prologue as a chapter. But the first few chapters were a bit slow, but after that it gets going, and it's good that when it gets going, it's the longer chapters. The shorter chapters is just introducing everything, and I think the shorter chapters is just the first issue. They don't do it issue by issue; they do it chapter by chapter. So chapters 1, 2, and prologue, I think, are all one issue. I don't know why they did that. They just had to do it that way, or they had it at a smaller size, because it should be the size of like this Thor book right here. A normal comic book. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it's kind of annoying that the volume 2, even though they have the issues for volume 2, isn't coming out till March, which is really annoying. I might try and seek out the issue 6 through 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, next 5. Yeah, very enjoyable. Glad I gave it a second chance. It is still very kid friendly. It's still like, it doesn't. You're not gonna feel like you're. It's not like one of those books that you read and you're like, oh, I can't tell who this is for, because it's like it's made for everybody. No, it's definitely made for kids, but it's still kind of like Pixar. Like if Pixar wanted to make like a harder edge movie, that's probably what they'd make. Or like not DreamWorks. DreamWorks, or what was the other one? I'm thinking. Tip of my tongue. A Leica animation. There we go. I could see them being a Leica animation movie. They're the ones who did Coraline and Kubo and the Two Strings, which I only mentioned that because it's severely. I say they're both severely underrated movies. But Kubo and the Two Strings, half the people talk about that. Twice the people talk about Coraline that do Kubo and Two Strings, even now. Wonder Woman, especially now, because I don't think anybody talks about it now. Wonder Woman Warbringer. Now, I have read Nubia, the real Amazon, the Wonder Woman, whatever the hell it was called. Nubia, the real one. That's what it's called. There's 2 Nubia books out now. Well, not out now, but and then I read Gotham. I'm trying to hurry before it gets too loud. Then Gotham High. Then I Am Not Starfire. And then I think it was those 3. And this somehow is the worst young adult DC book I've ever read. It is super lame. It has this. They want to make this like new catchphrase that's bubble. Like bubble double trouble. What is it called? Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I can't. But it's like bubble. Here comes trouble. It's so stupid. They're trying to make it like the between friends, like those catchphrases that you. I can't find it. That you always just so dumb. The twist makes no sense. Almost nothing in this book makes sense sometimes. Like, a lot of the twists and turns, none of the twists and turns make sense. And it's just all around a terrible book. I would probably give this like a 1 out of 10. For the furthest thing from a recommendation I can ever give. And I'm surprised that this is adapted by Louise Simonson. And I have a firm belief that she just adapted she just wrote the words down. Lee Bardugo. She just wrote down the dialogue and all the words from Lee's book, and she just put her name on it because she wanted top billing or whatever. Or she wanted billing to just adapt the words. Like, she literally just took the words and put them into comic book form. She didn't change anything, because that is not a Louise Simonson book. Louise Simonson, even with Power Pack, was never that lame. With Power Pack. Although I've only read 1 issue of Power Pack, so I can't say for sure. But that 1 issue I read was pretty lame, but not nearly as lame as that Wonder Woman book. There was nothing in that Wonder Woman book that I liked. So I guess I'll give it a 0 out of 10. Now moving on to a book I did like, especially the last issue. This is picked up a lot. It was a very slow start with this volume, and it was kind of weird because it shouldn't be. If anything, volume 1 should have been the slow start. But this really picked up with especially the last issue. And I was kind of like annoyed that I was finishing this, especially the last issue. The last issue of this is the issue 600, which is which is 50 pages long. And it's a lot of pages, but it was very fast-paced. And I think it took me the least amount of time to read, and that was the longest issue out of all these. And I was kind of annoyed because I had to read the Thor Volume 3, because I feel like I'd be having enough time to read everything, except for Aquaman, because Aquaman I can't read anyways. It's Volume 2. But now I'm like, I don't care anymore. I might just read Thor Volume 3 next. Star Wars Volume... so you don't have it here. What library is that? It's so lazy to put the Hollits, I think. Yeah, I really gotta hurry up. Volume 8. It's Volume 8. I don't know. Like, it's so annoying. It doesn't tell you what a volume it is. Why do they cover it up? Volume 8. Yes, I know it's Volume 8 now. It picks up a lot more than with Volume 7, which is Kieran Gillen's start on Star Wars. And like with Thor, it was towards the middle where it starts picking up. So if it's not too slow, I wouldn't say like it's one of those things where like people would be turned off by it and not read it and not care that it gets better. They wouldn't have the patience for it. It's a very, very slow start, but not unbearably slow. Just kind of setting everything up slow. But yeah, it definitely picked up towards the end. Archie Volume 5, you already know how I feel about this series. The best thing about this series is that, like, you feel for the characters. Like, you feel for their troubles, you feel for everything, you know? You sympathize with the characters. Oh, it's right here. Volume 8. Why they put it at the top? They just drew it with, like, a marker, it looks like. Not a marker, they drew it with a pen. It wasn't, like... See, if this one is, like, done on a computer, this is just hand-drawn. Where is it? Right there. I can barely even see it. But anyways, Archie... Like, what was the word I was used? Like, when they're, like, you feel everything they're feeling. Like, it's that good. You really sympathize with the characters. The writing is top notch. This is probably the quintessential Archie book. And I can say almost without a doubt, because they give you little, at the end of each book, they give you a preview issue of a spin-off series. Like the Archies, they give you a free issue here. It's the first issue here. I said free. The first issue here, they give you Jughead one, the first volume, and none of those I liked. It was just this one I really, really enjoyed. The Archies was pretty good. I might read the Archies next after I finish this Archie book. But this is without a doubt the best of the bunch, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Like 9.5 out of 10. Now, this one caught me by surprise, because I had stopped reading this one after Batman Aliens 2, because I got the Batman Superman one, and I don't know what I was on, because I really enjoyed the Batman Superman one. The artwork is exceptional. Kind of can't see it, because the lighting is kind of bad, but I still liked I liked everything in here. The Wildcats Aliens one was probably my least favorite. But other than that, it was really damn good. And if you can find this book, I would highly suggest you buy it. Now, I purposefully made it so. I purposefully didn't watch any of the Alien movies, just so I had no bias. Like, so it wasn't like, oh, they didn't do the Xenomorphs right. The Xenomorphs actually do this in this movie. You know, I wasn't like too concerned with the continuity. But I highly, highly, highly recommend this. And this is coming from a guy that doesn't like when they do like the movie thing. You know, where they have, like, the characters in the movies meet characters from a totally different universe. None of that. Like, I don't like when they do... I wouldn't say... It's very hard to explain how I feel about that, but I'm not gonna get the Philip Kennedy Johnson Alien book. I just, like... Star Wars, I think, is an exception, just because I like the writers. I might just get the Alien book. I don't know. It's very hard to explain. For me, it's just like, why not watch the movie? If they're just going to adapt the movie into comic book form, why not just watch the movie? That's kind of how I feel. But not every movie comic is based off the movie. Like, Star Wars is clearly not, it's not based off just The New Hope. It's in between The New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, so it fills in that gap. But, I don't know. I really feel like... And it's also a way for me to save money, I guess. Because, less books I have to get. Hellboy Volume 7. See, they have it just completely... They don't have anything on this side. So you guys can do it, libraries that are totally listening to me talk right now. Totally listening to my video right now. But this one was pretty good, too. That's how distracted I am. It's a lot quieter now, so I can just talk freely. Freely. Alright. It hasn't gotten any worse or any better. It's kind of the same. And I do really enjoy it. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I really enjoy this book. It's just as good as the last few volumes. It's not going to win anyone over, though. Like, if you didn't like the last few volumes of Hellboy, just Hellboy in general, this isn't going to be the diamond in the rough for you. But the best part about Hellboy is that it's very fast-paced. If you're kind of like... honestly, it'd be a good last book for me to read. Because I always feel like the last books I read before I go to bed are super long and take forever to read, because sometimes I'm like ready to collapse tired, but I want to finish the last book. And I feel like that Hellboy would be a perfect one. And so with this, and this is Joe the Barbarian. This is much, much better than I remember it being. I liked it the last time, but I didn't love it. I didn't understand why so many people thought it was the best thing ever, and now I do. It is very fast-paced. It is just a joyride. It's a complete joyride. This needs to be a movie. This would make a killing in the box office. if they play their cards right. Because if they release it now, when it's a superhero craze, I feel like if they do it when, like, say, Game of Thrones, when the spin-offs comes out and it's really good reviews, I feel like then Joe the Barbarian would make a good amount of money. And then finally, Robin, Son of Batman. I cannot believe this is the same guy who did the Superman run. But I think he was just the artist on Superman. He's just the artist on Robin and Batman, which is this is the semi-sequel to? I don't know. There was no indication that was a sequel. They didn't really talk about anything that happened in the Batman and Robin series, which I did enjoy. I'll give it that. This was a slog to get through. Patrick Gleason is a much, much, much better artist, penciler, than he is a writer. It's very boring. It's just not interesting. It's exactly why people jumped ship when New 52 came around. This is post New 52, pre-Rebirth, that kind of like in the middle, which makes sense. That's when a lot of people jumped ship, like completely jumped ship. But yeah, this was just mediocre. Wow, I did that under 10 minutes? No, 16 minutes. Oh my god. I don't know why I thought it was like 11 minutes or whatever. It was 5 minutes off. That's it.